So tell me, you're going to be speaking tomorrow, right?
Right. We're speaking tomorrow on a subject called From Code to Product to Business to Brand.
And have you done this with your dad before?
I've done this last year, just the same talk.
And so what is it in a nutshell like that people don't get in that whole sort of lineage process?
Well, first of all, they don't get that there is a lineage process. Too many programmers, and I was one, just think, oh, I got some code, let's go sell it. And then there's this big hiccup, and they don't realize it unless they've worked in a big company where all those levels exist. And that's where you discover in a real software company or an IT company, you have product managers who productize code. And you have marketing guys who develop the business, and you have somebody who writes a business plan. And then just because now we run a branding agency, we've got to give the final touch there on, well, how do you make it a brand? And that's a bit more mysterious, but at least we try to tell them none of this comes free. It's a process. It's been done before. It's not magic unless you're a programmer and you haven't lived through all this.
And if I understand correctly, you are the man who named Symbian. Are you responsible for the branding of that, or how did that come about?
I was responsible for running just the naming project, and it was a very complex project. I'll never forget it because, when the company which is behind it was a separate software company was being started, was this UK startup, but owned by NEC, Motorola, Nokia at the time. So we had to keep three competitors happy to pick a name in an international project. Unusual was that I actually made up the name Symbian myself. Usually my naming team, like Ben or my namers around the world, one of them win the prize for the final winning name.
What have you learned from, I guess, developers who were completely clueless at the beginning? What is like the biggest learning they get?
Well, I think for most people, it's just realizing that a name is actually an important thing. So many developers and techie people are likely to come up with a company like NEC or something, and if you hadn't heard of NEC, you'd say, okay, that means nothing to me. Literally, an acronym means nothing. It's impossible to brand. But if you name it, Next Level Computing, and that's the name of the company, it's going to tell the customer something about what you do, and it's going to help sell your products. A name is much more important than a logo or a tagline. People don't remember logos or taglines; they remember names.